All right, let's talk about our guts. Yes, our guts. The microbiome or your microbiota. So this is a relatively new frontier in the health world and something that I've just recently started diving into, mostly because I was struggling with my own digestive issues. I, to be very transparent, had a lot of bloating and gas issues, and it seemed like no matter what I cut out of my diet, it didn't matter. It wasn't the food that was the issue, it was that my body didn't know how to digest it. My microbiome was out of whack. If you think of your gut as being like a rainforest, it's super diverse. There's millions of bacteria living there that help you digest your food. And there are so many things in today's world that are slashing the rainforest and reducing that diversity, and so your body just doesn't have what it needs to digest. I'm actually reading a book right now called The Good Gut. It's super fascinating, and based on their research, the things that they say are causing all of these gut health issues are incredibly processed and highly toxic food supply, the increased C-section rate because the babies aren't getting the good bacteria from the vaginal canal. They're getting their first exposure to bacteria from the hospital, the decrease in breastfeeding, and I'm not here to shame anyone. I realize that it's difficult. This is just what the book says. I pumped, and obviously there's still a benefit of the baby latching to your breast because they're getting bacteria from your skin, whereas me pumping, I probably introduced all sorts of negative bacteria by unclean pump parts or whatever. Anyway, and then the fourth one is antibiotics, and how, I think doctors are maybe getting better about it, but for so long, it's like you bring in your sick kid and they'd be like, here's an antibiotic, there you go. And we can really tell a difference between Allie and Lucy in what kind of foods they like and how they can handle eating certain type of foods, because Allie had so many more antibiotics. Like as soon as she has sugar or corn syrup or artificial colors, she goes crazy. And while we try to avoid corn syrup and food coloring altogether, like Lucy seems to be able to handle it better, whereas it really affects Allie because I just don't feel like her microbiome is what it's supposed to be. And the interesting thing about your gut is that it's tied to so much of our health. When we think of serotonin, the happy chemical, we think of it as being, a neurotransmitter in our brain. Well, actually 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut. So if your gut's unhealthy and your microbiome isn't diverse in the way it should be, that could be why you're unhappy. It's tied to our immune system. It's tied to so many things. So I really recommend taking a probiotic. That's been the most important thing for me. There are tons of them on the market. Before January, I would just drink like kombucha and eat fermented foods and thought that was good enough. But in my opinion, and there is some science to this, when you drink kombucha, your stomach acid kills a lot of those live cultures. They're not even making it into your intestines where they're really needed. So I recommend taking a tablet like this, probiotic. This is Isogenics. It comes in vegetarian and conventional diets, so it can be tailored to what kinds of food you're eating. But this tablet does not break down with stomach acid. It makes it into your digestive system, and that's when the tablet, the shell breaks down, and so that those live cultures can get right into your gut where they need to be. I have noticed such a huge difference in my gas and bloating since incorporating this. So that's just a little bit on your gut. Gut health is super important, and as I read the book, I'll share more information with you, but I know I've been connecting with a lot of people lately on Instagram that are very well versed in gut health, so I'd love to know your main tips or like some interesting nugget that just totally blows your mind about gut health and your microbiota, because I just find it super fascinating. So happy gut health.